Hey y'all, I'm Pink Lady, she, her, and I'm the host of Bet on Yourself, Sis. So, whether you are a newcomer or you've been rocking out with us, welcome back to a new episode. This one's going to be good. This episode is with Dr. Alicia Newsome. She is an executive advisor, international speaker, and best-selling author. She works with entrepreneurs who want to build profitable companies without sacrificing your well-being, marriage, or values. She has a three-part framework: business, body, and belief. And we go into that on the episode, so I'm not going to talk about it here. She is all about helping entrepreneurs grow without burning out or losing yourselves in the process. So I know somebody out there needs to hear this today. So, in this episode, we talk about functional medicine versus traditional medicine, the importance of health in leadership, valuing rest and boundaries in entrepreneurship, redesigning business for personal well being, finding freedom in business, and my personal favorite, which was understanding hidden stressors and how they impact your hormones. This conversation had me glitching, y'all. I was like, what? Light bulb moments galore. Okay. So if you're anything like me, then you will definitely have a bunch of light bulb moments. Things will start to click for you. So I know you will be inspired and motivated to just stop, pause, take a look at your health, your life, your well-being, and bet on yourself.
Yeah. Bet on yourself, sis. Bet on yourself, sis. You've got the goal, confidence and style. Let your power show.
Dr. Alicia Newsome. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to you today. I know I'm going to learn a lot from you, and I'm really excited for this conversation because from what you said you want to talk about, I know those things are near and dear to my heart too. So I'm excited. I'm not going to talk too long because you're the reason we're here, and I'm going to let you go. So, Dr. Alicia, you are an executive advisor, an international speaker, and a 3-time best-selling author. We're definitely going to talk about your books later on. You have an amazing framework, business, body, and belief, and I want to hear all about it. But first, please tell the people who you are and what you do.
So I am Dr. Alicia Newsome. I have a virtual practice where I help women in 2 ways. So I help women who are struggling with hormonal imbalances find out exactly what's going on inside their bodies and then resolve those issues without drugs or surgery. And then also we work with women who have businesses in our integrated leadership framework where we focus on business. So how you're delegating, hiring, firing, asking for support, all of those things, body, which is going to be your hormones, everything going on there. And then your belief, like who are you being? Because we're not created to be human doings. We are human beings.
That's a mic drop moment. I love that you said that because I'm now the now me understands that so much, right? But the old
Right.
me had so much trouble with that. So I'm glad I'm here now. But yeah, I'm an advocate for a holistic approach, and that's what you do. So that's why I really love it, and I want to get more into it. So please talk to the people about like how this started, where it came from. Talk about both sides of it, and I don't know if they started at the same time or one came after the other, but please just give us all the deets.
Yes. Well, my journey into functional medicine began when my daughters were only 2 and 3 years old. So they were both in diapers, and I was leaving a very volatile marriage, very unhealthy situation, and I was exhausted all the time. So midday, it was like I needed coffee, I needed a nap. I would go pick my babies up from daycare, hurry up and get them, feed them, get them ready for bed, and then so mama could lay down, so I could go to bed. I was tired all the time, and I had a history of really heavy, painful periods, neck pain, back pain, all different types of health issues. And I ended up meeting a functional medicine doctor, and I was in private practice at the time, but ended up meeting someone, and I was doing kind of like some natural things, and I've always had more of a natural lean to me, but helped me really understand what was going on inside my body, did some advanced lab testing, and from that, it completely changed my life. So energy went up like it had never been before. Period issues went away. And because of that, it allowed me to be a better mom, a better business owner, like all the things, because really our health, our leadership thrives on our health, not on exhaustion, right? So if we're tired all the time, it really impacts us. So I've always been very passionate about women's health, and then especially when it comes to energy and productivity. The leadership aspect came more of just like me being in business for so long, and then people being like, well, teach me what you do, like, can you help me? Those types of things. And also just the conversations that come up with my clients, because a lot of them are just very high achieving, driven women who have their own businesses or have life, which is a business as well too. So that's how that framework ended up being created.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. First of all, I love what you do and how it was created, because it's so personal to you, right? It's kind of like your story, and what helped you is helping other women. So that's beautiful. I love how you say you help women without drugs or surgery, because that's like the first thing that conventional medicine offers, right? It's like, okay, well, this is the symptom. Let me give you something for the symptom. And we're not even thinking about diagnosing the issue, right? So talk more about that. Talk about why that's important and how that helps women.
So in functional medicine, that's our main thing, that we're addressing things without drugs or surgery. And think about it as if you were driving in your car down the street, and your check engine light comes on. And you're like, okay, I got to go ahead and make this appointment, head over to the mechanic. And you get there and you're telling the mechanic, my check engine light came on last week. I've been hearing this little rattling noise in the car. And the mechanic's sitting there taking notes, writing everything down. And then he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out a sticker and says, all right, ma'am, well, that's all you have to do is take this sticker and put it right over your check engine light. That would be crazy, right? We would not allow a mechanic to do that. We would probably go off, right?
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not putting this sticker over here. Like, this is a sign letting me know that there's something going on inside my car. You need to open up that hood. You need to attach your machines, do whatever you need to do to find out what's going on. But a lot of times that's what goes on with our health. Even if we're taking like the natural route and we're like, well, I've got some ashwagandha or, different supplements or medications, we're just putting that sticker, that Band-Aid right over that check engine light, that fatigue, that bloating that we have when we eat food, or trouble going to the bathroom, or painful periods. That's all check engine lights going off in our bodies.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love this conversation already, because I always had horrible periods growing up, and I was drugged from day one. Everybody was like, take these pills. Okay, those are not working anymore. Take these stronger pills. And like, I had this realization in therapy recently that it's like a miracle that I'm not addicted to drugs. Because from a very young age, I'm thinking I got my period maybe 12, 13, and all the way up until an adult, until I knew better. Right? So it's really amazing what you do. I'm gonna try to stop saying that, but I like, it's just over and over. I'm just like, wow, like, this is so cool.
It is. Like, I agree with you. From a very young age, I was popping Advil and taking a bunch of them, and then the doctor was like, well, put her on birth control, and I used to have really bad acne, so they were like, give her antibiotics. Like, that's destroying my gut constantly, but I didn't know, so it just created all of these other issues that did impact me in my young adult life. And birth control, it really depletes you of vital nutrients. It disrupts your gut. Depression is linked to all of that. So it really is impactful. And for me, when I opened up my practice, this functional medicine practice, I would always ask women, well, what prompted you to schedule this call? And they were like, well, I want to work with a Black doctor and I want to do things that are natural. And in functional medicine, it's a beautiful field, right? There's all these alternatives, treatments that we can work with people in a natural way, not just giving them drugs, but it's always been marketed to middle class and upper class white women. So for me, I've been very passionate about bringing it to us, so that our issues like fibroids and PCOS and diabetes and all of these things can really be addressed in a natural way.
Oh, love that. I didn't know about fibroids or any of the things that you named, right? That when you name the symptoms, it's like, oh, check. I probably have these things. I didn't know the names of any of these things until a few years ago, probably. Like, I'm being honest. Please talk about the difference between functional medicine, specifically between like functional medicine and traditional medicine, I guess we'll call it. I don't know.
Yeah. Traditional, conventional.
Okay.
And the thing is that conventional medicine is needed. Like if I'm in the middle of a heart attack, not to keep me from a heart attack, but a middle of a heart attack, I had a car accident, I broke my leg, any of that. Like I want emergency care.
Yeah.
And in the United States, we are great at that. But when it comes to chronic disease, when it comes to preventative care, we're not good at it. In the United States, we are only one of 2 countries who allow pharmaceutical companies to advertise directly to their consumers. In other countries, you go to the doctor, you tell them what's going on, they do a differential diagnosis, they investigate things versus, we can go in and, we saw this commercial of someone dancing in the lilies and ask for it, right? So it's very much a for-profit system. And we're less than 4% of the world's population, but we take 65% of the medications, over 65% of the medications.
Wow.
So it's set up in a way to wait until things get really, really bad. A lot of women will go to the doctor and they know they're feeling off, but then they're told, well, everything looks normal. And it's because the labs that are run are there to diagnose disease. So once you have diabetes, once you have major cholesterol issues, once you're now infertile, like with fertility issues, all of those things, it's not set up to be preventative. And it's not because, doctors are bad or inherently wrong. I'm a doctor, right? But the system teaches us to diagnose disease. And it's also very much insurance based. So insurance doesn't cover functional medicine. It's something that you've got to just you got to write the check for yourself, you got to pay now or pay later. And so it's very much insurance based. And then doctors have to go back and get additional training to learn about functional medicine. So there's doctors that want to do it. I have friends who practice conventionally and they sometimes tell their patients, like, you need to go see a functional medicine doctor.
Wow.
Because it takes time, but there's some that know, there's another way, but I'm kind of stuck in this system that I'm in. Right. And then it also takes time as well. In functional medicine, we really spend time with our clients and patients. It's not a quick 10-minute visit. It's, my intake forms are very comprehensive. Most people that fill them out, they're like, no one's ever asked me about this, but we're looking at everything. So it just takes, it's a different amount of investment of time too with it. So they say that it's a broken system, but it's really a system that works very, very well from the people that profit off from us remaining sick and without knowledge.
That's another mic drop moment, but we just kind of keep rolling. Talk about your books, because you have a lot of different things under your belt that you do, and I want to make sure we get to all of them. But okay. I definitely want to hear about your books because I'm a reader. So this is a little selfish, but let's talk about them.
Okay. I've co-authored 4 different books, and one is And Still She Rise, and it's a devotional, that one. And I reference in my chapter, be still and know that I am God. So I talk about that and the stillness and the calmness there when life is going crazy. And then another one is called Manifesting Her. And that one is a bunch of different authors that came together and wrote just stories about our lives and things that we have overcome. Cool. Another one is called Stories of the World's Greatest Speakers. And then another one that I did last year is called Redefining Leadership. And that one I talked about how leadership thrives on health, not exhaustion, and like our performance, health being a really big part of how we're performing and our productivity. And then I have my own solo book, my first solo book that's coming out in June, and it's called Worthy of Rest for the woman who's tired of being the strong one. And we live in a culture that gives us our pat on our back, lets us know, good job, keep going when we push, and it almost like the culture is addicted or worships exhaustion. So that book really goes into a lot of my frameworks on like the identity piece of what pulls us into feeling like we got to always go, or we're not worthy of rest. And then also it talks about the different types of rest. So oftentimes we may just think I need a nap or I need to, go to sleep, but we may need sensory rest if we, have been behind the computer all day or we work in a place that has bright lights. We may need sensory or a lot of noise or buzzing. We might need sensory rest. We might need emotional rest where there's unprocessed grief or pain that needs to be expressed. We may need spiritual rest. We may need mental rest. So there's different types of rest that we need. And I talk about all of those in the book, how to identify which one that you need, and then like practical things that you can add into your life to be able to get that rest.
That is what I need. Oh my gosh, because I'm just thinking like, so I have trouble sleeping. I've for as long as I can remember, have had trouble sleeping. So it's like a toss-up. Some nights I sleep fully through the night. I'm rested and I'm like, great. And then some nights I'm up all night tossing and turning, right? And a lot of the things you just mentioned, like I have a light on me now. I have multiple lights on me now. I have glasses and I work with screens all the time. So it's just like, maybe I need to figure out what type of rest I need. I'm just, that just was like, okay. Get that book. So absolutely. Can you just talk more about that though? Like we are worthy of rest and we have to know that. I'm definitely a person who used to, I was booked and busy and I was always sick, but I thought that was success. Right. Like as long as I'm busy and I'm always, in something, doing something, I worked like a full-time job and then I would have a part-time job and then I would do projects on the side. And I'm just like, I'm in all this stuff and I'm always doing something. So I am successful.
Doing it.
But I'm always sick. I'm always feeling like I don't want to do certain things. Right. I'm not feeling well. I'm burnt out. I'm Now very different. I absolutely value rest and see the value in it, right? But I know there are a lot of us who are not there yet. So please talk to specifically like those Black women entrepreneurs, right, who are not there yet, but also in a general kind of census, talk about like why rest is important and needed. And
I was talking to one of my friends the other day and we were talking about we overestimate what we can get done in a year, but underestimate what we can get done in 10 years.
Okay.
If we think back 10 years, it's like, okay, I've done some things, but then we'll pile it on in a year. Like, and I think part of that just speaks to the journey, like really just coming into peace and a knowing that this is a journey and this is a marathon. This isn't a sprint. And I know in the business world, we got all these coaches that are like, take action,
Yes.
now.
Now.
Yes. Yes. And it's like a lot of those coaches behind the scenes are completely destroying their health, their bodies, their marriages, their relationships with their kids, like all of that. So it's really, and I'm in that season with you. Of course, I've written the book too, but where it is like, it's like, like I've got to rest, and I've got to take care of this body that I have, so that in 30 years, when I'm in my 70s, I can get on the floor with my grandkids, run around, enjoy life, and I'm not having to need someone take care of me, right? So it's really just coming to that, like, realizing this is not sustainable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, as I hear you speak, I can remember one of the moments probably, but one of the bigger moments where I decided, like, no, I need boundaries. This is not working for me. I had a client, she kept pushing her meeting back. So I do like calls with my clients, and it was supposed to be, let's just say 3. I don't remember the exact time, but she emailed me and she was like, I'm busy, I'm doing something, whatever, can we push it back to 4? No problem. I'm very easygoing with my clients, as long as it doesn't change my schedule much. Cool. So that didn't work out. She needs to push it back again. So I'm like, okay, maybe we should try another day, but if, I'm still open, I'm still free, so sure. She pushed it back again, and then did not, and then ended up like changing the day or something. And I'm like, oh, because at that point I didn't have like a setup. I was at like a coffee shop or something, and like I'm just spending time out here, and I'm just like, I could have gone home, I could have worked on other things, I could have, all the list of things that I could have done. And I'm like, but you know what? It's on me. I'll chalk it up to it's on me. I didn't have the boundaries, because the first time I should have told her no, and she needs to reschedule or something. Yeah. But that was one of the moments where I'm just like, I need boundaries. I'm going to do something different, because this is killing me. I don't want to do this anymore. And it wasn't, again, that was one of the moments. That wasn't just like, that happened and I decided. So I understand, like, there are usually a series of moments. It's not just like flip the switch, right? Yes. But yeah, it's important.
Yeah, boundaries are so important. And it's more, boundaries are more about like what I will do if you cross this boundary. So it's like next time it's like, well, if you're running a certain amount of minutes late, or, you got to push it back, then I will send you my rescheduled link.
Yep. Exactly.
And then you may have to wait until, next week to meet with me, or, whatever.
Absolutely.
Whatever that may be. But that is so important. And I feel like we do a lot that's in my book too is about, we can't abandon ourselves in serving other people. We have to really pause and ask, what do I need? So even in that situation, which I completely understand, I've been there, it's like, well, what do I need in this situation? Like, and then like, what does the rest of my day look like, before we're just so quick to, it's like an automatic where we tell people yes. Yeah. So I've learned to really like slow down, even if it's like helping someone or even going to a party, like I really pause and say, do I want to do this?
Yes.
Because otherwise, if I say yes and I really want to say no, then I've got like a little bit of resentment there. I'm irritated, and it's like, it doesn't serve anyone if I'm, I should just honor everyone by saying no.
Absolutely. And you said it, the stillness, right? It's the taking a minute to pause. That's, I think, where a lot of us are like, we don't take that minute to pause. We just keep going and going. And I know I was very much like that. And now it's just like that stillness is where you find the answers, right? A lot of the time, that stillness is where you hear yourself, and you get to decide what you really want and what's best for you, like you said. So yeah, that pause, that stillness is very important. Be still, right?
And know.
Yes. There you go. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey y'all, Pink Lady here. I'm a podcast producer, director, coach, and host. And I want to tell you all about my production company, Pink Lady Productions. We collaborate with creatives like you who are driven to share your message by launching your podcast from A to Z and coaching you through the process. To learn more about our services, check out our website at pinkladyprod.com. That's PINKLADYPROD.com.
Okay, let's talk more about your entrepreneurship journey. We like to hear about like challenges and things you went through because we know it's not all, unicorns and rainbows. Some people think you're an entrepreneur and it's like, oh yeah, you're just living your best life. And it's like, partially, yeah, like
Yes.
part of
Yeah.
it, absolutely. But gotta get there,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
talk more
And
about
and
that.
it's always a reworking and relearning, of like what worked this week, what worked this month, like what do I need to change so that my business is something that actually nourishes me and fuels me versus something that pulls from me and drains me. One thing that I've recently started to do, which my clients love and I love too. So, I mean, how many people need another meeting on their calendar?
Oh,
No one.
no, thank
None
you.
of us, right? But a lot of times the work that we do is deeply personal, right? And I really started to think outside the box on how I could work with my clients that would serve them and then also like my own capacity. So what I started to doing with my intakes. So I've got very comprehensive intake forms where I'm going to ask you everything about your life and know all of this. But now what happens is when women sign up to do that, they go into a private portal with me and they are able to I ask them like, send me a little video of yourself, or a voice memo. And that's like activates the automation within the business. We use Clarity Flow for that. And it automatically puts them in the portal and then it sends them a message from me automatically with like their next steps of what they need to go ahead and complete. They're able to complete it on their time. And then when I'm feeling my best as well, I'm able to go in, look at all of their forms right there in Clarity Flow. I can ask them any follow-up questions that I have, and then I can put together their entire action plan for them right there. And it's been so good, and it's been, and it's allowed me versus someone paying to have like a 90-minute consultation with me. One, I'm not writing all that down as comprehensively as, as I am when I'm able to do that. You're not able to really go back and look at it. It's just, wherever you are and I am, if the girl's in the car, like even like she's able to be very present, I'm able to be very present in my part and then really give them something that that's very tangible that you can do, like it's like what you need. So I've loved doing that and like redesigning my business. But there's been times where I've just been like, my calendar is packed like all day long. And then I'm, back to being exhausted, just because the physical exhaustion, being on calls with people, I'm naturally very much an empath. So, and most women that meet with me, we're talking about deeply personal things. So half the women cry on a consultation because there's a safe space to do that. But then I'm like, at the end of the day, like, whew,
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of times when it's in our entrepreneurial journey, we have to really be honest with ourselves about what works for us, what doesn't work for us, and what we have the capacity to do.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of business programs out there. So I've always been the type, like, let me hire a coach. From my first practice that I had a brick and mortar with some of my friends, was like, I'm going to go do it myself. I hired a coach, did all of those things. And I became so coachable that I built businesses that I didn't like, that didn't, that drained me or, didn't really even allow me the lifestyle that I originally signed up to do this. It's like, well, I could go work back in corporate and shut my computer at the end of the day and be done, So I really learned, in order for my business not to just take over my entire life, to really that pause and be with, okay, does this align with me? I'm getting coaching to do this, but is there anything inside of me that feels a resistance? Because in the coaching world, they'll tell you like, we're supposed to push through it, or it's some type of, but sometimes it's our inner knowing saying, no, 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 that's not going to work, Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Trusting yourself, right? Trusting that gut, right? That you feel it for a reason. And it's not always telling you no, right? Sometimes it's just telling you to explore further, right? Get that clarity. I love what you were saying about what you do, because it gives, my values are like screaming, like clarity is a value, organization is a value, and freedom is a value of mine. And it does all of that, right? It gives me all the clarity that I need, is organized in a way where I can get to it whenever I need, right? Like you said, when I'm feeling good and feeling, have the energy to do it, then I can go and do it. And that's freedom too. Like, it's just, love that.
It's been good. I'm like,
because that's the point, right? Like, that's why you're entrepreneur and not working for other people, right? Go ahead.
Because we like to like do it our way and, not have to have someone else telling us how to do it. But then we somehow, at least me, have created it in ways I'm like, I don't even like this.
Yep.
And it's like, well, and someone may ask, well, why are you doing it? Well, that's the way I got to do it,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole rewiring of your mind.
Yes.
Like I didn't know that I could have this freedom, right? A lot of what you're saying makes so much sense, because that's exactly it. I'm doing it this way because this is the way I've been doing it.
Yes.
And I didn't even know that I could do it in a different way. Now that I know, then I can explore and figure it out, but I didn't know. So
it took the realizing, and I did learn this in a coaching program, that the force field of business, or like the matrix of it all existed before we were even born.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like the way people do business already existed, and we just stepped into it and like then felt like we got to do it this way, right?
Yep.
And even now, it's just like, well, you got to post on social media because that's what you're supposed to do, and it's just like, well, actually, most of my clients, come through me from like meeting me like in real life or speaking, or, you know what I mean? But it's like, still, but you got to do this. You got to have your presence, So I think last year, sometime middle of last year, I was like, I'm not doing it anymore.
Good for you.
we posted like YouTube, but then like my IG's like always just what would it be called? Like a repurposed, but there's no like, I'm like, I'm not putting any more strategy into this, trying to figure out what reels, what music, what like all the things. It's just gonna, so if you do go, like you can see me, but
yeah, for people who enjoy doing those things, it's great, right? Like, you have all the freedom and all the fun that you want to have. But yeah, I don't I don't want to do that at all. Yeah. I don't really use social media for my personal life. So I definitely don't want to use it for my, like, I just don't want to do it. So I understand.
When I launched this virtual business 5 years ago, I remember just going through my head, like, I don't even post on my personal page, maybe like once a year. I got married and I don't even think I posted about it, Yeah. Like it's just not a thing. And it's like, now it is a thing, but it's, in reality, it's, I don't know how important it is.
Yeah. And it's all about like what works for you, right?
Yeah.
So if it works for you, then it works. And if it doesn't, then, it doesn't. Maybe, there are definitely a lot of different things to try on social media, right? You can explore, you can have fun. There are all these different type of coaching programs, right? If you're into that, there are templates and all of these things, right?
There is.
Absolutely explore and have fun. I'm not going to discourage you, listeners, but
I'm all like, but But there are different things like going live. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I think it's also finding like the thing that brings you joy, you know?
Right,
Or
yeah,
is it like, no, I prefer like long form. I like to write. Like, let me write it out that, write out this, a long post and put a picture with it, Or I think there's also that part too. So I'm not completely against it. I've just stopped the whole algorithm,
Yeah. Yeah.
that part.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. Totally.
I'll go live any day though. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
So one of the topics that you wanted to discuss was the hidden stressors and hormones. Can we please talk more about that?
Oh, yes. Okay. So when it comes to our hormones, a lot of times people like just focus on like estrogen, progesterone, which are important, but they're impacted by other things. And one of the things that they're primarily impacted is by stress. Now, we know stress. We know there's work stress, there's business stress, there's relationship stress, money stress, all of those, right? Life is going to life. What I do with clients is really help them when it comes to stress, increase what I call their like zone of stress resiliency. So let's say that you're going down a river, white river rafting. It's not my thing, but let's say you were doing it.
Never been, but I do know what it is.
I did it once and that's it.
Okay.
So you're white river rafting and you're like bumping up against the walls though, right? What we want to do is we want to increase your zone of stress resiliency. So it's wider. So as you go down and lifes, you're able to ebb and flow more, right? Because life is still going to happen. We're not going to be able to get rid of those stressors.
Right.
The other underlying stressors that people don't think about, and it impacts the body the same way. So stress, which we normally think of like mental, emotional stress, our body physiologically goes into a fight or flight mode. So fight or flight is really designed for if short-term stress. So let's say that there's a bear coming after us, we're going to fight it or we're going to run away, and now that stressor's gone because we eliminated. We fought the bear or got away from the bear. And then our body returns to a parasympathetic state. So rest and digest. It's also where our hormones build and do all the beautiful things that they do for us, right? If we're stressed out, though, our body stays in the stress state and will do something called a pregnenolone still. So basically, your body will pump out cortisol, the stress hormone, instead of taking care of like our sex hormones like progesterone. Think about if a bear was running after you, the last thing your body would think is like, now's a good time to make a baby.
Right.
Nope.
I hope not.
Nope. It would say, we've got to get her to safety, right? So stress really impacts our hormones in that way. But there's other underlying stressors like toxins. So toxins come in two forms, biotoxins and environmental toxins. Biotoxins are living things like mold, fungus, parasites, bacteria overgrowth, viruses. And then there's external toxins that are things that are sprayed on our foods and our drinking water and our cleaning products or our hair products, skin products. Medications have toxic side effects, radiation, EMFs, all of those different types of things. Those are stressors on the body. The body's still responding the same thing as if like a bear was coming after us. Physiologically, it's a stressor. And then there are deficiencies. So nutrients, so not getting the sufficient vitamins, minerals, amino acids, antioxidants. And then also your macronutrients are very important too, like getting enough protein. Protein's very essential for your metabolism and your hormones. And then good fats as well too. Good fats is very important for your brain health, your heart, your hormones. Very important that you're getting good healthy fats in. And then there's gut issues. So if you're experiencing constipation, diarrhea, bloating, those are all signs that there's something going on with your digestive tract, heartburn, all of those types of things. Heartburn is really your stomach's not acidic enough. So the reason why antacids work is because they come and neutralize the acidity that's like coming up, that heartburn that you're feeling. But the reason why that acidity is coming up is because when your stomach's not acidic enough, food starts to rot in your stomach and it's organic acids that's coming up. So that's a whole nother can of worms there with the antacids. But we really want a stomach that's nice and acidic, because what that does is it gets the entire digestive tract going. First, it's your first defense against things like parasites and things like that can be in your food or your water. Kills those off in the stomach, helps digest your food, and then it gets the rest of your digestive tract going. So your gut health is very important, and there's 10 times the amount of nerves going from your gut up to your brain than what's leaving going out to your entire peripheral nervous system.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it's a lot. They call the gut the second brain. And that is because there's so much neurologically going on in the gut that impacts your brain. There's tons of research out there that shows the relationship between gut health and mental well-being, anxiety, depression, all of those different types of things, mental focus. So that's very important. That's a stressor. So if you're dealing with gut issues, that's a stressor on the body. And then also sleep, not being able to get into deep, restful REM sleep is a stressor on the body as well, because that is the time when your body does heal. It does detox. It's when the lymphatic system, that's the lymphatic system of the brain, that's when that drains. Like all of that happens during sleep. So very important. So the underlying things when it comes to our hormones are toxins, deficiencies, all the ones that I listed, and then the mental emotional stress as well. And the thing is about stress is that stress sends your adrenal glands into overdrive and it weakens your immune system. So as you had said earlier in the show, that's how come you're like, I'm doing it, but I'm sick all the time, you know? It's because of how the body's responding. There's never a time that you're sick, your immune system is dealing with issues that your hormones are not impacted, or vice versa, or your nervous system. It's all connected.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Because I just had so many light bulb moments as you were talking. I'm just gonna try to keep it quick, but I want to name a few. Heartburn. Oh my gosh. Because so I just moved. And we don't have any food in the house yet, so we've been ordering out all the time.
I understand.
And I've been like, why am I getting so much heartburn? And what you're saying makes a lot of sense, because I mean, the food is good to me, but I know it's not the best food that I could be eating, right? And I know it's not food that like I cooked myself, I prepared myself, right? And oh my gosh, like it's making sense as to why like I'm not sleeping, my gut health, and I'm not sleeping, and then it just, oh my gosh, okay.
It's all connected. You're like,
so
yes.
many light bulbs. Like I cannot even formulate the words to explain all the light bulbs that went off, but it's just like, wow. Now everything makes sense. So
Doctor means
thank you
teacher
for that.
Yes.
Oh, yes. And I love learning. I'm a lifelong learner, and I believe that like I can learn. I'm learning so much from you just now, right? It doesn't have to be traditional education, and this is nothing against traditional education. I every few months think about going back for my master's. Like, I have not decided. I'm not set, but I get the bug every now and then.
You are in good company, because even me, I keep eyeing this master's degree in it's like executive leadership and organizational development.
Okay. Mine is
Just
all about
because.
communication and media studies. Just seeing about how communication in TV and social media and all this, how does this affect us for real? How does it affect the way we communicate and all those things? I'm very interested in that. But I don't want to pay for it. I don't know if I actually want to go to classes and discuss it. Like, I don't know. I'm not sold yet.
Yes,
But,
I understand.
yeah,
It's a whole thing.
It is. It's a lot to consider.
Yes.
But the point of saying that was you can learn from so many different places. It doesn't have to be traditional education, right? So, I'm learning so much from you, and that was like golden. That's definitely going to be a snippet that I use later, because you just said so much in that, and specifically about stress, and specifically about like the stomach. That's what's why my mind is blown, because I know we don't eat the healthiest, especially when we're in that, grind, when we're in that booked and busy mindset, right? So it just, it makes so much sense.
Yeah. And we've got to eat breakfast and lunch. A lot of times, a lot of the women that I work with, and I've been guilty of it myself, skip breakfast, skip lunch, and then dinner. And it's like, just try to do it in reverse. Skip dinner.
Yes. I've been trying to at least eat a banana. Like, I've been bringing a banana to work because I'm a coffee for breakfast type of girl, definitely. And I know it's bad. I know.
Coffee is just like making that adrenaline go, that cortisol,
it
all
wakes
of that.
me up. Yeah. And I know it's bad.
Yeah.
I do. And I try to if I'm working from home, then I don't. I'm definitely a tea drinker, or I'll just have water. But if I'm out, I just feel like I need a little, and I'm, maybe you can help me out, Dr. Alicia.
I love a good coffee. I'm not completely against it. It's just we don't want to be dependent on it. We want your body to be able to produce everything that it needs so that you feel vibrant, when you wake up and able to focus when you get to work.
Can you give us some tips or some like foods that are really good that'll help us out? Some things that might help our gut health and things. Can you give us any goodies?
So let's go back to the breakfast part, because that really impacts the rest of your day and how you feel. So we don't want to do dessert for breakfast. So no pancakes.
I feel judged, but
French toast. I understand. I've been there. We want to have a nice savory breakfast. So think about savory food, protein, and good fats for breakfast. You can have some complex carbs in there. Believe it or not, I have beans in my breakfast.
Ooh,
so I'll typically, like for breakfast, I may have some lamb and some beans and some veggies, or rice and beans. I may have sweet potatoes with a protein for breakfast. It's not traditional at all, at least here. I think other countries do it a little better.
Yeah.
But what it does, and you don't have to do that. I mean, you could do eggs and bacon and avocado too. That would be considered a savory breakfast with good protein, good fats. And what that does is it stabilizes your blood sugar first thing in the morning. Okay. Because what you don't want is you're spiking blood sugar because of the dessert you just had, and then crashing, and then you're on this roller coaster all day long. So then it's like a few hours later, now you're going for something, but the body's like, I got to get my blood sugar back up. So it's going to be something sweet that you're craving. So if you start out with a good savory breakfast, that really sets the stage for a healthier day, more stabilized energy there. Okay. For your gut health, one thing I just want to say about that is that probiotics are great, but you want to make sure you're rotating them. Because there's something called monoculturing that can happen, where what you want with your gut bacteria is you want to have a gut bacteria that's very rich and diverse. So you want to have a lot of good bacteria, and you want a lot of variety there. And if you're using the same probiotics over and over, or the same type of strands, like if you just have a bunch of lactobacillus, you're going to have a whole lot of that one thing. So you want to mix them up. Every couple months, switch to a different type of probiotic. Probiotics are great if you do the pre, the pro, the post, all of those are really good things to help with the gut. What else do you want to know about?
What are some ways maybe we can know that, we don't have good health, good gut health, and that's probably adding to our stress?
Yeah. So there's always the obvious things like diarrhea, bloating after eating food. If you're bloating after you're drinking water, or even healthy food, then it's okay, there's definitely some things going on. And then constipation is a big one as well. And a lot of times what I have found with the women that I work with, especially women that have fibroids, there's a correlation, and I've just seen it very much anecdotally, very consistently in my practice, of not pooping consistently, but it's kind of just always been that way. So you might not even realize you're constipated. It's not even like you're going to the bathroom and you're straining. It's just that it's I go every 3 or 4 days. You should have 1 to 2 good bowel movements every
Mm,
day. Well formed, not runny, not hard,
mm,
just like a well formed poop every day. If you're not having that, it just creates like almost a
mm.
backup of issues, like literally. But when you think about toxins that are all around us in the environment, it's not always about just, we can't always just buy everything organic or have all of our products be pure and everything like that. But what we want is our body to be able to process toxins
Yeah.
that we're exposed to, and that a big part of that comes through pooping, peeing,
Mm,
and sweating. So if you're not pooping regularly, I mean,
mm.
you're just getting backed up, right? So gut issues can also look like brain fog. It
Yeah.
can look like memory issues. It can look like even irritability sometimes. And I don't know if
Mm.
you've ever experienced this when you've had like a really good poop and you almost feel like, ooh, like almost like that came from my
A relief.
brain. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely. Yep.
because it's so connected. The gut is
Mm,
so connected to the brain. 10 times
yeah.
the amount of nerves going from the brain or the gut to the brain. Yeah.
Wow.
And then also weird aches and pains can be related to the gut as well, because you want your gut to be nice and sealed. And that's because when you eat your food, you want your body to be able to pull out the nutrients from it and then like just get rid of the rest, or even toxins, everything like the bad things. You want it to just move through your digestive tract. So you want your gut nice and sealed. But what will happen is people's guts start to break down, and it's like little holes
Mm,
get poked in the gut.
mm.
And what happens is that people can develop food sensitivity. So whole food particles are literally like, instead of being digested properly, they're seeping through the holes in the gut and they go out into the
Oh, wow.
bloodstream. So then the body will see, well, you just had asparagus, but your body's reacting poorly to it because it looks at it like it's an invader that can look like joint pain or
Oh
headaches
my
and
gosh.
things like that. So gut issues are very sneaky with the different
Yeah.
symptoms associated with it. And I would say most people have gut issues because we're just not trained. Just like we know to take care of our teeth, right? But we don't learn proper gut health in life.
Yeah. My mind is blown again. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking about my grandmother. She actually passed away
Mm.
last year in August, and she always used to no matter what issue you came to her with, I promise you, the first thing she would ask you were how were your bowels?
Yep.
And as a child, I'm like, Grammy, come on. Like, that has nothing to do with what I'm
Yes.
talking to you about. I'm telling you I have a headache. You're asking about my bowels. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Right. But
Wow.
no, this old lady has so much wisdom,
All that
right?
wisdom.
Because what?
Wow.
My, wow. Yeah, my mind is
Granny
blown. Wow.
knows.
Okay. She knew.
Yes.
Oh my
I
God.
wish
It's
there was more
crazy.
like her. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Like and I'm like wondering, I want to go talk to my mom now. Like, do y'all know this? Like
How you
because I feel like
pooping?
right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know and now I know and
Yeah.
that's why I love learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because wow. Okay, advice. What advice do you have for specifically for Black women entrepreneurs, and then if you want to do like advice in general for entrepreneurs or women. But yeah, just give us. I know you have
Mm.
something great, so yeah,
I just want to
please.
remind you that you are more than enough. Like you're
Mm,
already more than enough. Like we don't need another degree, another certification, another milestone
mm,
that we hit. There's nothing to prove. It's just to be. Like be just exactly who God designed us to be and walk in that
mm,
alignment. That's it.
mm. Yeah, another mic drop moment. You've been having the mic drop moments, Dr. Alicia. I'm telling
Oh,
you. I told y'all in the beginning that it was going to be a good one because I know loads of gems, loads of light bulb moments, all the goodies, right? And it's not even over. Dr. Alicia has a freebie for y'all, so I'm gonna just stop talking and let her get to it.
I have a free gift for you. It is a stress and energy management guide. You can go to www.draliciagifts with an S, draliciagifts.com and download that. Behind there, there's like an offer for you to be able to work with me as well. In that, putting together your action plan of what you need to do. So like if there's any testing you need to do, what kind of exercise, what kind of nutrition, stress management that's specific to you and your needs, that's right there behind the gift too, just so you know. It's right there waiting on you. And we drop right into our private portal, no appointments needed, and we get you taken care of.